On May 18, 2013, Tricia Hester Lillard passed away at the age of 58 after a 12-year battle with cancer. It's been 10 years since we lost Tricia, but all it takes is a glance around the Sycamore View family to see the ways that the Lord worked in Tricia's story to change the story of our entire community. After being raised in a family who cared for foster children, Tricia and her husband Randy carried on that ministry by caring for nearly 30 foster children in their home. Many of those children were reunited with family or welcomed into forever adoptive families. However, Randy and Tricia also have a son and daughter through adoption. Now her daughter Callie carries on this vital work through Sycamore View's Handprints Ministry, which supports orphan care, adoption, and foster care. At her memorial service, a question rang throughout the room. Who is going to fill the gap of service to vulnerable children now that Tricia is no longer with us? Callie and many others at Sycamore View live out the answer to that question every day. Joel and Lori Shores have adopted two amazing boys, Benjamin and Jeremiah, and they carry out Tricia's advocacy in their lives. As the Shores raise their sons, Lori remembers that Tricia's love and desire for all children to have a family was not just her own. She shared her ministry with her family to where it became their ministry too. Patrick and Chauncey Parson welcomed their third child, Riley, through foster care. The Parsons have reflected on how Tricia's love, compassion, and selflessness inspired them to embrace fostering and adoption. In her, they witnessed the embodiment of James 1:27, as she tenderly cared for vulnerable children, recognizing them as precious gifts from above, as expressed in Psalms 127:3. Their lives have been forever changed by sharing life with Tricia Lillard. Jim and Stacy Hinkle have watched their family grow and expand in amazingly unexpected ways through the years. Jim remembers attending community meetings focused on foster care and adoption together with Tricia. Tricia always knew everyone in the room and would introduce Jim by saying, "This is my friend Jim. He's a future adoptive father," to which Jim would laugh and assure whoever was listening that he was pro-adoption but already had all the kids he could handle. This happened many times over the course of several years. Tricia got the last laugh and continues to laugh from heaven as she watches Stacy and Jim parent their beautiful adopted daughter. As for me, God called me to adoption while I was working with the youth group in Panama in 2012. As I began seeking out people who had walked this journey, naturally Tricia and her family came to mind. From the very first conversation, Callie and Tricia were some of my biggest cheerleaders. She not only lived out Isaiah 1:17, but she was always ready to help others live it out any way that she could. God used her heart to help write many stories, and I'm so thankful that mine and my daughter Sophie's are one of them. Tricia was an unapologetic champion of children whose families were unable to give them the care they needed. While her legacy is evident in many adoptive families at Sycamore View, Tricia's influence also led to our church participating in Red Tub Day, graduation parties for foster youth, trauma-informed parenting classes and conferences, meal trains for foster families, and so much more. Not every Christian can adopt, but every Christian can care for the fatherless. Tricia Lillard's passion and example for caring for vulnerable children has forever changed Sycamore View, and our love for these children will continue to shape who we are and how we love for the next 50 years.